Hello lovely ladies, welcome to or back to my channel, Self Love Lexi. If you're new here, I'm so grateful to have you in. I'm Alexis, I'm a self-love coach. I teach women how to love themselves unconditionally. If you haven't followed my Instagram yet, please go ahead and do that. I post every single day. Through my Instagram bio and even my YouTube bio, you can access my free community of lovely ladies. It's filled with inner work questions, URLs. I watch a lot of YouTube videos on self-development, and if I feel very strongly about a video, I will send it in. There's so many resources in this group chat, as well as so many other women who are on their journey of self-development. Through the link, you can also access a free monthly group call, as well as my coaching, what it entails, what it offers, and so much more. I'm super excited about today's topic. We're going to be talking about the subconscious mind and how to rewire it. First, let's talk about the basics of the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind runs 95% of the show. And what does this mean? The conscious mind is the thinker and the decision maker. It is aware, logical, analytical. It processes about 5% of your behavior, while the subconscious processes 95%. The subconscious mind is automatic. It kind of acts as a storage system. It is emotional and pattern based. So a good analogy is this conscious mind is the tip of the iceberg, where your subconscious mind is the massive structure underneath. Your conscious mind is at play when you need to consciously make decisions. For example, if you are taking the same route to work every single day, that's when your subconscious mind kind of comes in and has pattern recognition. That's why when you're driving, people sometimes tend to zone out and just let you drive. That's your subconscious mind kind of taking over because it knows what it's doing. But imagine if your subconscious mind was wired for self-hatred, was wired for hyper-independence, was wired for survival. That is going to constantly take over. Let me just give an example. Say that you want to make new friends. Your conscious mind decides, I want new friends. But your subconscious mind comes in and says, well, the last friend that we had started talking behind our back. Well, this kind of happened last time. Pattern recognition. And this is why people get stuck in loops, because your subconscious mind recognizes something that has happened to you and further integrates that in your system to help you. The thing is, a lot of the time, our subconscious mind is actually working against us, even when it thinks or it wants to work with us. Before the age of 7, your brain is literally like a sponge. Whatever is put in it, it solidifies. But here's the thing. Your brain is not complete concrete. It's like clay. Imagine you have a whole stand here and you're making a little pottery shape and it solidifies. If you add water to it and start reshaping it, it will eventually reshape. But it takes repetition. It takes consistency. It takes water to reshape. So, that being said, the repetition and consistency is the key to the subconscious mind. The water is looking at the belief system, your thoughts, your actions, your emotions, etc. So yes, it is 1000% possible to rewire your mind after the age of 7, after it solidifies. I'm not going to get too much into neuroplasticity in this video, but if you have time to do your own research after you watch this video, I recommend looking into neuroplasticity and epigenetics on how you can actually change your life. Now that you have a little background on the subconscious mind, I want to teach you how to rewire the subconscious mind. First, I'm not just saying this to say this. I have rewired my own subconscious mind and have watched many others, including my own mother, rewire her subconscious mind, which completely derails the fact that people think that at the age of 7, your beliefs and everything is solidified. It's not. Your brain is like clay. If you add water to clay, you can reshape it. The prime time to rewire your brain is right when you wake up and right before bed. This is because your brain is in a hypnotic state called theta. Now, if we just look at what happens when somebody is hypnotized, personally, I've never been hypnotized, so I don't know quite what it feels like. But from what we can see, if somebody tells you that you're a dog and you're in a hypnotic state, you will start barking like a dog. That's because your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and your actions become completely absorbed with whatever it is being told during this hypnotic state. If you wake up and the first thing you tell yourself is, oh my gosh, today's gonna be horrible, I hate that I wake up, I hate that I have to go to work today, today's gonna suck, you're going to be indulged into that state, into that headspace, into that mindset, and wonder why your day went horribly. In theta state, your brain shifts from active problem solving to learning and memory integration. So there's a reduction in the prefrontal cortex, which is like the analytical side of your brain, and an increase in your hippocampus and amygdala, which to summarize is like the communication emotion side. And you have heightened neuroplasticity, which is your brain's ability to rewire, and synaptic connections become more adaptable. Also in theta, you have heightened neuroplasticity. So synaptic connections become more adaptable, making it easier to weaken old neural pathways. For example, I'm not worthy, and strengthen new ones. I am worthy. Every single morning I wake up, I first thank God for waking me up. I get into that state of gratitude, and then I stare at this vision board and put myself in the situation of the picture. Every single day, I choose a new picture to put myself in the state of, and I thank God for making it already happen. The easiest way I usually explain this to my clients is when you're a kid, before the age of 7, you are in a constant hypnotic state. Everything is being absorbed, every single thing. This is why somebody can say a new word as a child and all of a sudden you're constantly saying it, and it's usually the words you don't really want your child to be saying. That is the exact state you are in as soon as you wake up and as soon as you go to bed. It is the prime time to wire your subconscious mind. So I would recommend, let's say right now you have very, very bad social anxiety, and that is something you want to get over. What I recommend is coming up with a mantra or an affirmation that you say as soon as you wake up, and get into a state of visualization where you visualize yourself being confident, no longer having that social anxiety, walking into a room smiling with your head and shoulders up, your shoulders back and your head up. This can be for anything. If you have trouble making money, you can rewire your brain that you are a money magnet, that money is radiant to you. Money follows you everywhere. The prime time to do this is in the morning before the conscious mind can come over and say, actually, wrong. Because throughout the day, if you express that money comes to me effortlessly, I'm feminine and beautiful and disciplined, your conscious mind will come over and say, actually, you didn't go to the gym yesterday. That's why it's so important to do this in the morning right before bed. I understand it's sometimes difficult to remember to do this right before bed. Personally, I always do it in the morning because of the fact that I usually am just focused on sleeping, not on rewiring my brain before bed. I figured out the best way to rewire your subconscious mind during day-to-day activities. I want you to become insanely aware of your thoughts. Now, we have thousands of thoughts a day, thousands. So it is going to be a little work. It's kind of doing self-research. Notice how you think. Notice your thoughts. Notice how you react to situations. The first few days should just be noticing. Then I want you to consciously flip the thoughts. Let's say you wake up and you go to work and you notice, wow, my thoughts are pretty negative about my boss. Then I want you to start consciously flipping them. When you say things like, oh, she's gonna yell at me again, I want you to consciously flip it to, she's gonna be in such a good mood today. And I want you to do this with everything. Let's say you're walking home from work. Instead of saying, oh my God, this is gonna be such a long and cold walk, think, I'm getting the perfect amount of exercise today. Once you start flipping and being conscious of your thoughts, you will notice that your actions and your emotions alter as well. And let me just give another example on how to be conscious of your actions. Let's say that you really want to compliment somebody. You love their outfit, but something in you is blocking you, stopping you from doing this. Question it. Question everything. Question everything about yourself. Why am I like this? Why am I this way? Who taught me this information? We're just sponges of other people's experiences, beliefs, and biases. So you want to compliment somebody, but your brain is stopping you. Question it. Why? Why is my brain stopping me? Well, my brain thinks that they're going to judge me. Why do they think they're going to judge me? Well, because this happened X amount of days ago. And I just want you to be very conscious of how your brain's reacting to situations. With this, I want you to prime your conscious mind with your thoughts, emotions, and actions in real time. One more thing I need you to know about your subconscious mind. Your brain is literally wired for survival. That's it. It doesn't care if you're succeeding, if you're excelling in life. It's just making sure you have the basic needs down. Connection, food, water, etc. And so even if you have the subconscious belief that all men hurt me because of past experiences, there is no point in getting frustrated with yourself because of it. One thing that I like to do is I like to thank my subconscious mind. To get personal, one of a huge thing that I'm currently working on is isolation. This is because my subconscious mind views people as scary. It views people as people that hurt me or have hurt me. One thing that I also like to do is consciously rewire my brain. So I look at healthy relationships. A huge thing that helped me with my daddy issues as well was looking at healthy men, took care of their woman, who led, who provided, and that rewired my brain. Take the problem or the belief that you have and consciously look for the opposite of it. For example, another thing I used to go through is punishing my body, so much so that I was constantly burnt out and going to the gym. And one way I rewired it was looking at people who truly loved their body, who allowed rest, allowed themselves to take care of themselves. And that rewired my brain in a different way. It's one thing to listen to a video, and it's another thing to actually take actions towards change. If you really want to change your life, the next few days, become aware of your thoughts, your baseline thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. Then after those days, start consciously flipping your thoughts. Every time you have one extreme of a negative thought, put it to the different extreme of a positive thought. And then the same cycle. I want you to be aware of your actions after switching those conscious thoughts. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you loved it as much as I loved making it. Follow, like, and subscribe for more. Mwah.